exacerbate the problem.
David, I mean, I know you're a sophisticated guy. The world is a mess. The world is as angry as it gets. Well, you think this is going to cause a little more anger? The world is an angry place.
Because this is what it does. It appeals like the male fantasy.
Yes, those were Howard Hamlin's toes you just saw.
This is a chat room of incels.
God is not distant. She lives.
I'll tell you what to tell the police. Get what you deserve. I'm like a god in human clothing. Lightning bolts shoot from my fingertips.
The world is a mess. The world is as angry as it gets. Well, you think this is going to cause a little more anger? The world is an angry place.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only.
Richard Dawkins.
157 to 58 of his book, The God Delusion, Richard Dawkins outlines or summarizes what he calls the central argument of my book. And when you look at this argument, the conclusion to which is, therefore, God almost certainly does not exist, it is a patently logically invalid argument. Even if you grant...
What if you're wrong?
Well, what if I'm wrong? I mean, anybody could be wrong. We could all be wrong about the flying spaghetti monster and the pink unicorn and the flying teapot. There's no particular reason to pick on the Judeo-Christian God in which, by the sheerest accident, you happen to have been brought up and ask me the question, well, what if I'm wrong? What if you're wrong about the great juju at the bottom of the sea? What if you're wrong about the great juju at the bottom of the sea?
Science works. Planes fly. Magic carpets and broomsticks don't.
When you say faith is rational and evidence-based, I mean, if that were true, it wouldn't need to be faith, would it? I mean, if there were evidence for it, why would you need to call it faith and say just evidence?
It's progress. The one thing you can be absolutely sure is that a creative designer cannot be satisfied.
Dawkins will not get into a debate or dialogue with a philosopher because he knows he's out of his field.
What if you're wrong?
I don't take on creationists, and I don't take on people whose only claim to fame is that they are professional debaters. They've got to have something more. I'm busy.
What an incredibly stupid question.
Let's call it evil. Where does evil come from?
Religion.
That was a clumsily asked question, I admit.
We're told that God is loving and kind and just and intrinsically good. We're told that God is loving and kind and just. It's rather obvious that God is cruel and unjust because he visits suffering on innocent people of a scope and scale that would embarrass the most ambitious psychopath.
The beliefs that a person typically holds are the beliefs of the culture in which he was raised. Well, of course, that's true sociologically, but so what? That doesn't prove that, therefore, your views are false. The thing that it does is to commit the genetic fallacy. Jesus' resurrection from the dead is Yahweh's public and unequivocal vindication of the man whom the chief priests had rejected as a blasphemer, that he was who he claimed to be.
I mean, anybody could be wrong. We could all be wrong about the flying spaghetti monster and the pink unicorn and the flying teapot.
You still explained absolutely nothing because you're left without an explanation for that God himself.
Post-irony is the return to sincerity. Meta-irony is what happens when irony and sincerity become muddled together.
Please do like all my videos.